No. Holy shit. He said what?
Doria Ragland has said enough is enough. I'm moving out of Montecito for...
I've never really seen that. 5 quiet words spoken by Meghan Markle's own mother, Doria Ragland, that hit like a thunderclap. If her mother has never truly seen Archie or Lilibet, then what exactly has the world been looking at all these years? We were sold a fairy tale of a smiling mother in a sunlit mansion, but tonight we uncover the chilling testimonies from those who lived inside those walls, revealing an illusion so perfect, it might just be a lie.
The main feeders of the rumours, according to Lady C's book, Meghan was too big for, well, I suppose her first baby, and also too big for the fact of only having one child, and she seemed to be too big at the wrong time.
What they described wasn't a home. It was a movie set. A former staff member painted a disturbing picture of rooms that looked lived in, but never were. Toys placed with clinical precision, blankets folded too neatly, and a terrifying silence where the laughter of children should have been. It was beautiful, but it was empty, a stage meticulously prepared for a performance, not a family.
...pointed out everything she posts on her social media, like, are the children real? Has she changed the hair color, which keeps on going up and down?
This performance extended to every public appearance. The world saw perfectly curated images of Meghan as the doting mother, but those on the inside tell a different story. They say she would arrive for photo ops with stylists and publicists, but never with the children. When asked about Archie or Lilibet, her answers were vague and strangely detached, as if reciting lines from a script. The woman who demanded privacy seemed to live her entire life on camera, yet the most basic truths were always kept just out of frame. But what the staff saw behind closed doors was far more disturbing. The maid, who worked in the Montecito mansion for months, never once saw Meghan visibly pregnant. There were no maternity gowns, no baby products, no signs of prenatal life anywhere. The bump she displayed in public seemed to change in size from one event to the next, and deliveries to the house were bizarrely labeled props, not toys. Whispers began to circulate among the staff. Was this about privacy, or was it about protecting a story that could never be questioned? The silence inside the estate was deafening. Day after day, the maid cleaned the same untouched nursery. The crib's sheets remained perfectly crisp. The rocking chair never moved, and a baby monitor on the dresser collected dust. Staff were given strict instructions: keep certain doors closed, never ask questions, and never ever mention the children by name. The house felt hollow, a grand, empty stage where the main characters were mysteriously absent. The question echoed in every polished hallway: where were Archie and Lilibet?
The main feeders of the rumours, according to Lady C's book, Meghan was too big for, well, I suppose her first baby, and also too big for the fact of only having one child, and she seemed to be too big at the wrong time.
When Meghan and Harry's Netflix documentary aired, the former maid watched in disbelief. The house on screen was not the house she worked in. The layout was wrong, the staircase was different. Even the sunlight hit the kitchen from the wrong direction. She recognized furniture that had been rented from a staging company months before. It was all a flawless cinematic replica, designed to sell an illusion of authenticity to millions. And that's when she realized the horrifying truth: what the world saw wasn't their life, it was a carefully directed version of it. This level of control was absolute. Staff had their phones confiscated, every window was tinted, every delivery inspected, and NDAs were strictly enforced. Former employees described it as working in a fortress, not a home. Meghan ran the estate like a production studio, where every moment was rehearsed and nothing was left to chance. This wasn't about protecting her family, it was about preserving her narrative at all costs, and anyone who questioned it was immediately replaced. So if her own mother has never really seen the children, and the staff who lived there never heard them, the story begins to unravel. Meghan built her brand on being seen and heard, yet the two people who should be at the center of her world exist only in perfectly edited photos. The mystery is the point, because when no one knows what's real, no one can question what's false. The truth isn't told, it's directed. Now that you understand the shocking level of control used to craft her family's narrative, you're ready to see how deep this pattern of deception really goes. Click the video on your screen right now to watch the investigation that uncovers Meghan's secret Soho House past, long before she ever met the prince.
To doubt everything she posts on her social media, like, are the children real? Has she changed the hair color, which keeps on going up and down?
The main feeders of the rumours, according to Lady C's book, Meghan was too big for, well, I suppose her first baby, and also too big for the fact of only having one child, and she seemed to be too big at the wrong time.
The facade wasn't built by Meghan alone. It was a complex apparatus, a meticulously engineered stage managed by an army of professionals whose loyalty was bought, or perhaps coerced. Imagine the sheer logistical nightmare of maintaining such an illusion day in and day out. It required more than just stylists and publicists. It demanded a network of enablers, discreet security personnel ensuring no unauthorized eyes wandered, a rotation of staging companies to constantly refresh the lived-in look of various properties, and a dedicated team managing the digital footprint, scrubbing away dissenting voices and amplifying the curated narrative. Every single public image, every carefully selected quote, every candid moment shared passed through multiple layers of approval and manipulation. This wasn't just about protecting privacy, it was about constructing an alternate reality, a perfectly polished hologram of a life that simply didn't exist. The cost, both financial and ethical, must have been astronomical, a constant drain on resources, all to uphold a story that was, by all accounts, as fragile as it was beautiful. The very air around them, it seems, was breathable only when filtered through a lens of absolute control, leaving no room for spontaneity, no space for genuine human connection, and certainly no room for the uncontrolled chaos that real children bring into a home.